Hello guys and welcome back to a Jurassic World Dominion video. Finally, I'm doing a Jurassic World Dominion video. I know, I didn't do the Jurassic World Dominion trailer to breakdown. Well, I'll tell you this. I think Jurassic World Dominion with its promotion has been very careful, because after the whole Fallen Kingdom debacle with it spoiling the entire movie within the trailers, I think they've been really careful with these trailers. And I'll tell you why, because most of the trailers have been featuring the Malta chase sequence and a little bit of Pyroraptor, a little bit of Therizinosaurus, and a little bit of Giga. But besides that, it's mostly the Atrociraptor Malta chase sequence. And I'll tell you this, we don't have to worry about any spoilers from that, because that chase sequence, as stated by Chris Pratt, is a 12-minute chase sequence, which is crazy. Like, this movie is shaping up to be one of the best Jurassic movies, and it's really trying to hide its spectacle for the actual experience in the theaters, and I'm all up for it. So basically, again, as Chris Pratt said, that this movie is like Avengers Endgame. Like, I think he literally means it. Like, with even the trailers, I think they're not spoiling much of the movie, but a little hints of the plots. Like, for example, the whole Blue plot is kind of in the trailer, where we find out that Owen and Claire are involved in this whole mess because of Owen's promise to Blue, as he promised Blue to rescue Beta, Blue's kid. So they are involved in this whole mess because they have to rescue Beta, and perhaps even Macy. I'm just gonna throw that guess out there. If it hits, it hits, alright? But the whole reason of me making this video is that I'm trying to explain that we have not seen any sequence of the ending besides a little scene. And why do I say that? Because the whole scene where we see the Giganotosaurus meeting up with our cast might be the introduction of the Giganotosaurus to our actors, and it might not actually be the ending battle. The ending battle might be much more epic, let's just say that. And the reason I think this is because we haven't seen Beta being rescued like we see in a shot later, and we can clearly see that Owen has Beta on his back in later moments, and the place is much more burnt up, and it's not the same when the Giganotosaurus attacks. And also, if you notice, Ellie Sattler is constantly wearing her orange jacket, which in the final battle is off. She's not wearing that anymore, and she's in her white shirt. Now, with this explanation out of the way, let's see what could be the final battle, and why am I really trying to build it up as being one of the greatest battles? Well, you see, Gaming Beaver came up with a theory of the ending, and this is why I had to clarify the whole trailer sequence of the Giganotosaurus, because in his ending, Giganotosaurus gets his head stuck in that big building, as we see in the trailer, and then Claire pushes some sort of button that brings the whole building down and breaks Giganotosaurus' neck. I think that's what he supposes of that whole scene. And in one way, it could be possible, because you can see the Giganotosaurus is being promoted with that building a lot. And it could lead to someone believing that that's how Giganotosaurus might meet its demise. But that's not how I think it might go down. And I believe what might happen is something a little more cooler, but this can also very well happen. Now, just as a precautionary measure, I'll put up a spoiler alert just in case if I get anything right. So without further ado, let's start. So the first rumor of the potential final fight is between Giganotosaurus and Therizinosaurus, as it was shown on a Lego set and maybe even on a Funko Pop. And this led to many believing that Therizinosaurus might be the opponent to Giganotosaurus in the final battle, and Therizinosaurus ends up killing Giganotosaurus, and that is a very plausible theory. And I would like it, because this would be the first time a herbivore kills a carnivore, and Therizinosaurus is very much capable of killing all these big carnivores. But personally, I think that that whole fight sequence will take place much earlier, and maybe it won't even involve Therizinosaurus as the main opponent of Giga, but indeed Rexy. As you can see here in this picture, Rexy is facing off Giganotosaurus, and it's in the daylight, and Rexy seems to be scarred up, so I think this would be one of the battle between T-Rex and the Giga. And here Giga seemingly wins, almost gets to kill T-Rex, but T-Rex survives. Now, how does he survive? Well, if you look closely, this biome is the same biome where we see the Therizinosaurus, and I believe that when Giganotosaurus is about to kill Rexy, Therizinosaurus shows up, fights off Giga, and then maybe Giga goes on his way and perhaps Tyrannosaurus unintentionally saves Rexy. And that would lead us to have a Rexy versus Giganotosaurus fight too. But we're gonna talk about that a little later in this video. But you might be wondering, why am I trying to figure out the final battle? Well, in the Jurassic World trilogy especially, it has become important that how the villain dies. In Jurassic World, the Indominus fought Rexy and then died through the Mosasaur. Indoraptor fought Blue and then fell to its death by being absolutely gored on the Triceratops skull. And now we have the Giganotosaurus, one of the biggest carnivore that ever existed, bigger than a T-Rex. And in the Jurassic World prologue video that was uploaded on YouTube, if you see this Giganotosaurus that fought the T-Rex, these two are the DNA codes that form the Giganotosaurus we're gonna see in Jurassic World Dominion, and the T-Rex is the one that forms the Rexy that we currently have. So that means basically these two dinosaurs have already fought in the prehistoric time, where Giganotosaurus absolutely destroyed the T-Rex, breaking its neck. And by the looks of it, these two fight again in this movie earlier on, and perhaps Giga wins this battle but doesn't kill Rexy. Now we move on to what I think will happen in the final battle, and as we see, all of our actors are rushing in the middle of the big dome, and they're probably going towards the helicopter where they again meet the Giganotosaurus. And as we can see in this shot, Ellie Sattler is in her white shirt, Owen has Beta on its back, and we can see they're faced by something, and it's probably going to be the Giganotosaurus stopping them. And I think Kayla is in the helicopter ready to fly it away, but we can see this shot, and this is from behind the scene, and we can see the cast is rounding up perhaps to defend themselves against the Giga, and we can see this giant circle thing. I don't know if it's a waterfall or anything, but this is the same exact thing we see in the poster where the T-Rex is coming behind it. And at first glance I thought that, well, it could be just a poster. But then we had this trailer where we see the exact same shot of Rexy coming behind the waterfall. And first of all, this shot is a straight up homage to Jurassic Park logo itself, where we see the T-Rex skeleton behind the Jurassic Park logo. And it's beautiful because it's, how many movies did it take? 6 movies for us to finally get something like that to happen. And we can clearly see the place is all burning down, so this is taking place in the end. But if you look at the cast and the way they're looking, Ellie Sattler, Mamadou Eti's character, Ramsey Cole, and Owen are looking straight ahead, whereas Ian Malcolm, Dr. Wu, and Alan Grant are looking at something else. And it could be that the T-Rex and Giga are coming up to fight, but I think there's another dinosaur that we have not seen. And now I'm going to show a shot that is not HD, and I'm glad it's not HD, otherwise it would have revealed something big. It was a TV spot, and it showed Kayla Watts in a helicopter, and if we notice, there's this silhouette that's passing by her, and I don't know about you, but I see a long snout and a big build, and whatever it is, it's big. And also, if you notice, near the bottom right corner, we can clearly see there's fire, so this is also in the end. But this just looks like to me the Spinosaurus. And one of the few folks on Twitter just managed to mark it out, and if you just see it, it has long snout, it has the claws, and I really genuinely think this is the Spinosaurus, because as of now they're promoting Jurassic World Dominion as a conclusion to not only the Jurassic World trilogy but the Jurassic Park trilogy. And how good it would be to finally have the biggest 3 dinosaurs of the Jurassic franchise to face off against each other: the T-Rex, the Giganotosaurus, and the Spinosaurus. And of course, if we go by the canon lore, Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus is still alive, as it was seen in Camp Cretaceous Season 4, which takes place near the end of 2016 or perhaps in mid-2016. So yeah, we have a confirmation that Spinosaurus of Isla Sona was still alive. So I really see this being possible, and I really hope this is true. Can you imagine the biggest 3 dinosaurs come against each other, fight it off, and it will be just, this will be like Spider-Man No Way Home but with dinosaurs. And oh, I cannot wait for it, and I just really hope this is true. If it is true, well, first of all, this video is correct, and also this would mean that I've spoiled the ending of the movie. But second of all, it would mean that it would be just a satisfying moment for all of the fans that have been waiting for a moment like this. This should be the conclusion to all of it. Giga versus T-Rex versus Spino. and please to say it will be one epic fight if it does happen. So yeah guys, this wraps up today's video. Hope you enjoyed it, and tell me what you guys think about this theory. Do you think this is possible, or do you think this is way too far to reach? And well, yeah, as usual, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Please let this be true, and bye for now.